Hey, everybody, and welcome to the OHP Podcast, episode number 9.
Number 9, baby.
I'm Drew. I got my buddy Mitch with me here, and we also got our cinematographer Daniel Stark with us.
Hello, everybody.
We're here on this episode to talk about the movie that was made somewhere around 2021 that Daniel was first a part of in the movie, of course.
The first movie that Open Heart Productions ever did.
Right. And anyways, what we're going to do is see what Daniel's take on everything was, and I'm sure Mitch has some questions for him. Also, hey guys, we got a special announcement. Our podcast is actually going to a network, rebelwithoutaclue.com.
If you ever thought that a podcast on someone's front porch could make it to a network.
Right. Hey, go check it out on April the 29th of this month. It will be on the network. We actually just did an interview at the Boggy Creek Festival with the guys that do the podcast, Rob Washburn, what is it, Slumber Massacre Party Luncheon podcast. So go check that out when it comes out.
How was it?
It actually was pretty cool. We did about an hour long.
Yeah, it was. I think it was more than an hour. That was actually probably one of the longest conversations that I've ever had with somebody in one sitting.
All right.
I ran out of things to talk about. That's how long it was. I was like, oh, man.
So, Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Open Heart?
Oh, yeah. I used to work at a college radio station, 91X KXUL, and I'd go out and see a lot of bands and stuff, and that's kind of how I met Mitch, I guess, through that process. And shortly after that, I helped out a little bit doing some PA work on Near to Weld.
Yes, you were there on all the hottest days that we filmed.
They were hot, yeah. There was one with a big dumpster involved outside of the bar there, I think.
With Heath, where yeah.
That was really sweltering. Chops to that guy, man, because that was amazing. But that was a lot of fun, to be a part of that, even though it was just minimal, And then through the years, different music stuff. We did Shock Stock, and we did a benefit thing. I had y'all help me on. And
Shock Stop was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do one of those again. That's going to be an idea. We rolled through that though, and we ended up working together at the TV station.
At the TV station, and that's kind of where Unknown Strangers started. Was at the TV station.
Yeah, because unbeknownst to me, y'all had been working on everything, Sharky and you.
Well, me and Sharky, we had been doing the Rednecks for Hire show together.
Right.
And after that ended in 2019, the pandemic happened in 2020, and I guess like the thing that the pandemic actually, I know a lot of people suffered and it was terrible. But I'm not going to lie to you, the pandemic was exactly what I needed at that point in time in my life. Because I was burnt out after the Rednecks for Hire show.
As far as,
I had no drive to do anything, and then the worst part was I had no ideas. I had nothing creative, churning in my. And you know me, not being driven to do something and not thinking creatively. That's just kind of like what I do.
Yeah, it's your bag.
And so that was the first time that I was just like, man, I don't want to do music. I don't want to do movies. I don't want to do anything.
It's like that Sublime song.
Yeah. And Sharky came to me at the end of 2020, around October. And I mentioned this before. There's so many times that people pitch ideas for movies to us all the time, no matter where we go.
Right.
And my response to anybody, anytime they pitch me an idea, is, yeah, man, write a script. And if the script is good, we'll see what we can do.
Shoot a scene, write a script, do something.
And Sharky was the very first person that I ever said that to. And then, in October, he came to me and said, hey, man, I'm almost done with that script I was telling you about. You're doing that? And he's like, yeah, I got some ideas. I want to tell you about some kills. And he pitched it. It's a cannibalistic serial killer adapting to life in the zombie apocalypse. But we never see the zombies. It's all in sound and walking by the camera.
It's a hard sell.
But I loved it.
I love it too, and I still do to this day, because when y'all had worked that much out, I just remember I was at work one evening, I guess. Maybe it was morning.
It had to be morning if we were there.
And and y'all came in and asked me to shoot, and I looked up and I was just like a short film, and
No, a full length.
Sharky was like, no, it's a feature, and I was like, you got to be out of your mind.
Yeah.
You got a job, kids, bills, and cars, and
Well, see, because that was the thing.
It's
Whenever Sharky came to me with the script by the end of 2020, not only did he come to me with the script, he said that the idea of making this movie was on his bucket list.
Right.
He had a bucket list for things that he wanted to accomplish by the time he was 40.
Right.
And writing and directing a movie was on that list, and he was turning 40 that year.
Yes.
And so he's like, I got the script, and I have my life savings and some other stuff I've worked out. I got about $25,000. Let's do this. And whenever he handed me a script and said I can get 25 together, I was all in. I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's do. And then we talked about crew and everybody, and we talked about who we wanted to shoot it. He was actually the one that was like, well, Daniel's up there in his office right now. He's my number one pick of who I would want to shoot the movie and be the cinematographer. And I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's just walk up there and talk to him. So we went and pitched.
That was right then.
Yeah, we pitched you the idea, and he looked at us in the face and said, no, guys, I'm sorry. I can't do it. We're like, fuck. All right, well, appreciate it.
Ended up saying I would think about it, and I got home. Like I said, I tell people this story sometimes, and I was like, I might never get asked to do this again, So yeah, and I called you back. I think the next day or maybe that night.
Yeah, it was the next. Actually, I think it was the next day at work.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I would always just stop by your little
Pop the head in,
office most days, and you were like, "Hey man, I thought about it. I'm going to do it." I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go!"
Right.
And this was the first movie that I had worked on that I was not directing. I was just producing it.
Well, yeah, but you had a major role to play.
Yeah, he did ask me to play the serial killer.
Ended up being, the cast that way, but there was a lot of. We talk about serendipity a lot in the stuff that we do, and just the right timing, and just things just falling in place sometimes, even though it might not be ideal or, completely enthralled as far as excited about, you complete it. And so that's there's so many lessons with this. That's why I think it was something that when I said yes, and then from there it was just breakneck speed every weekend, I think.
Well,
we had pauses through the week, but
we because you said yes, it was like in the beginning of 21, like January or February, whenever you agreed to do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't shoot until September.
Yeah.
So we had it was
There was movement there.
Yeah, it was like 7 months of pre-production leading up to it. And I will say this, Sharky was awesome during pre-production. The money came in, and he immediately started buying props and costumes. Me and him went up to the airport and then the Chenault Aviation Museum. And I remember sitting down with the Chenault Aviation people and pitching them the idea of letting us use all their stuff. And they were all super cool about it until insurance got brought up. And I was like, well, we can't afford insurance, but we can sign documents saying that if anything happens to us while we're here, we promise not to sue you.
Oh, yeah.
And so they accepted that. Their lawyer accepted that.
That's a game changer.
And then pretty much after that, we had full reign.
They were very, very generous with the time and the exposure and the access. I really enjoyed the whole aspects of that. 'Cause it was my first movie. I'd made a short film with my son before for his for some stuff, and I'd done some other little shorts in college and stuff. But this was my first feature for sure, and on a camera that I just had maybe
just
a month,
bought.
Yeah, it was maybe a month with, but it was
that we still use to this day.
Yeah, it's still around. It's probably going to be one of the BTS ones this time around coming up, but
Yeah. We moved on.
Yeah, it's
We evolved.
They step down as their years move on. You know, and they retire them to the little open heart graveyard for the cameras, and
We'll put it in the Open Heart Museum.
So, as far as your experience together, what did you learn as a team, being your first movie together?
well, I had watched Mitch act before, and so I was familiar with that, and just a loose production process, you know, as far as you know what it is, and I wasn't for sure he was talking about Sharky's production as far as handling the pre-production. The production, to me, I mean, I across the board, he was always problem solving in some capacity and helping, and he was great. He actually paid a good number of people that surprised me as far as that level of. I would like it's a goal of mine really to be able to facilitate things in that manner, in that way, and so there was a lot of legitimate stuff like that that honestly is stuff that I'm still learning about, you know, and so that whole shooting process being the way it was my first exposure to anything outside of. I've been on a couple of film sets. I'd done some PA stuff in a couple of movies locally. One in Columbia there with the chick from it's called Finding Normal, I think. It's the chick from Full House.
Yeah.
I was a PA
Yes.
there for 6 days or so, and then a movie thing, Monroe. It was one of the
R
one of the
Squared.
R Square productions,
Yeah.
one around Neville High School. I was there for a day or two, just because.
I think that was Desire of the Hearts. If I don't know why, I think the reason I remember that is because Parker Dash from Ne'er Do Wells was in that
I
movie
believe he
too.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd done some stuff in Shreveport, just briefly, and visited some sets and stuff, and got to see that and everything, and watch a lot of YouTube videos, you know, that kind of stuff. But then from there, and I was shooting commercials really, you know, for the last, you know, for that years or whatever. That was about 6 years, I guess, of shooting local commercials and stuff, and had to do things at a TV station. When you shoot commercials, a lot of times you might be a one-man band, so you might have a light or two in the car, you might have a different lens or something like that, but generally you got an hour to get inside this business, shoot
the commercial and get the hell out of there.
Get out and not interfere with their business and not, you know, make people nervous about going in there. So it's the only way I kind of knew to approach it was that manner, which was beneficial because we kind of moved pretty fast through scenes and stuff, which we had to. But
Do you want to know my favorite part about that? Part of the reason why the Unknown Strangers movie means so much to me during that whole process of pre-production and production and editing and everything was that I was reinvigorated in my motivation and my drive and the creativity, like being a part of all of that and getting shit done and realizing, oh man, these goals can be very easily. It's been so long since I'd done a movie, I'd forgotten that how whenever you try, it can be accomplished. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that goes in line with the main thing, even from day one when we finished shooting it or whatever at the end there, and the edit was coming together and stuff. Regardless of any kind of whatevers, I was like, it's done.
Yeah, we finished a movie.
It's done. It's something with a beginning, middle, and end. And
it's entertaining and engaging the entire time, at least to me.
Yeah, there's things I want to go back and I've talked to him before about it, and he seemed to be all right. But it's a possibility, I guess, because I had a remaster. It's a re-edit. It's just like it's just changing things around a little bit and
adding in the new
color.
Star Wars special effects.
Yeah, it's the Lucas version too.
No, that's also a movie. That's also a movie that we can't release ourselves right now.
Well, we can't, and I'll explain that later.
It would have to be through his own dealings.
But that was also
Which
the
would be
movie.
fine.
That was also
support
the
that.
movie that we met so many of our actors that have still been with us to this day.
The core of just like you were saying, the core of the getting it done that was the big spark. If somebody were in the woods with embers and rubbing sticks together, and so that was the big spark for Open Heart and the Bogman and everything
Yeah.
else that followed.
Because we were talking about Bogman before before Unknown Strangers was finished.
It was lingo, I guess, in y'all's, and I would hear it, but I found out more about it later. But going to, let's see, we went to was it the Aviation Museum first?
I don't know.
Didn't we get to Columbia or?
No, I honestly think that we did the Columbia stuff
that was first, yeah.
I think we did the Columbia and all the stuff over at Chris Galwin's trailer and at Ringo's house
Right.
in Balkanville.
Yeah.
I think we did all of that stuff first, and I think all the aviation stuff was like the last 3 or 4
learned
weekends.
so much. That's my big. People ask me sometimes what's my favorite out of the movies we've made so far and stuff, and I don't. I mean, I love them all in that sense that they're all finished and completed, and we're getting to make the next one. And it's the chase for that. That's my fun, is making the next one, kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, but it's what did I learn in that time frame, or what did I experience in that time frame? Because each one's a little different. Infinity gem in a glove,
You know what it kind of feels like? Like Unknown Strangers kind of felt like. It felt like the demo EP that Weezer made in their kitchen right before they signed and did the Blue album, where it was all still the same songs from the Blue album, but they just recorded it in their kitchen.
Just a better version.
And
it's something I would like another crack at, or I think it's a viable script and the idea and the. I think you.
I don't know. I've always been a big fan of once the art is done, it's done. Let it lie.
Well,
let it speak for itself.
I'm not saying like a remaster, or so, I mean like a re-storytelling. I'm just like a different cut, I guess, is what I have in mind for it.
Yeah.
And it would be something that we've talked about that would be potentially interesting, but it would be a long way off. But I like how it is. There's certain things that there's so much. That's why I love it, because I learned so much in such a little time. And even though,
because even the things that didn't work out, we were like, okay, we learned from that, and now we know when we do Bogman, we'll do that differently.
Even though we were rushed into kind of having to start Bogman later, a lot of those contingencies came out, and they worked out a lot better in our favor, especially because it was at a similar pace. I guess we had that weekend kind of thing going, and those are beneficial. But it was wonderful. You did a bang up job as far as I always thought the Frank character was a hard sell in itself, with all the creating zombies. And I feel like with the sound, I think we did a good job, but with the sound re-edit in a sense in some places, and reinforcing the zombie presence, that's something all the actors really kind of did for the most part in places where they reacted to something that wasn't there to scare them.
Yeah.
And I thought they all did pretty well at the level at which we were and are at times. That's something that I feel came together. A lot of angles were forced. Because of, for one, it's it's daytime. It's supposed to be night. For two, it's can't show cars driving by on the highway out there. You can't show planes flying in the sky. You can't show people. Yeah, you can't. So a lot of angles that were shot. There's like that one shot where you throw dude out. And then you come back and it's just that one angle with the sink in the way for the whole scene, pretty much. And that's because the other angle ended up, you could
see that it was daylight outside.
Broad daylight. And the lighting shift, that's one of the things too, was rushing through in between scenes without prepping the area you're set right. We left and we were rolling too, and we were doing good, and I thought we were going to keep going to the rest of this scene, but we end up for some reason or another having to cut and go do something else. Maybe somebody was leaving or something, and we cut with you rolling underneath the the plane.
Yeah.
And then when you come up on the other side of the plane, it's just a
The next
completely,
day.
Yeah, it's like
It's
a
the next
completely
day.
lit room. You know, it's just totally differently lit.
Camera looks different and everything.
It's so because we had to pick up shooting that scene later, and I made the mistake of not correcting
Using
the
the
light.
same. We didn't. Well, another thing too
Well,
is
earlier it was
we didn't use the same camera whenever we came back for the reshoot. We used that other smaller camera.
Yeah, that was.
And
yeah.
so it was that the second half was shot with a completely
Yeah, it
different
was.
camera, and they were like, "Oh shit!
And
Well,
it-
we can't go back, so this is what we're using."
That's why I think in some ways it could ultimately kind of be a fortuitous thing, but a lot of learning.
So
a lot
did you
of learning.
ever think or have any idea that you'd be where we are now?
No. I mean, not in reality and stuff. The only way that we've really gotten where we are now, I think, and I'm not really even quite sure at where that is, but is because we usually look when we're not really working at the moment. We're looking at the horizon as it gets closer.
We're never not
And
doing nothing.
when it gets closer, it's almost like I equate it to Mario, the way the screen forces him along, you know, and he just has to deal with it at that moment and just do the best thing and hit the, you know, a lot of games too, you know, Double Dragon, whatever, Contra, yeah. Those that style of stuff. So we accomplish like many goals, and you don't really know how far you've come until you maybe get a chance to look back. You know, so not really, but I'm glad that we're still doing what we
That we're
started
still relevant.
out. And once you do the impossible in a lot of senses, or whatever, what you deem impossible in a lot of ways, or improbable, or whatever, then you know, it's a little easier to do it again, you know. Now, Sea of Madness was harder in a lot of ways, in different ways, but than Bogman, and just as Bogman was harder than the effort maybe is what it is, but somewhere that balances out, you know. It's like I've watched a lot of interviews with well-known filmmakers and cinematographers, Deakins and De Palma and things of that nature, and Raimi, of course, and it's funny when you're watching something and at just the level we're at, you're concerned about something so much, and you watch a video of one of them talking about the exact same thing and how they just don't care.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's so awesome.
What I like about it once I started doing this with you guys is now that I watch any show or any movie, anytime they fuck up, I've noticed it.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's there now.
Well, that becomes an art in and of itself.
Yeah,
because
it does
then-
pull back the fourth
then
wall.
in a lot of ways, you can look at the stuff the way we progressed, and it has improved. But is it so much that we're not having the f ups, or we're just not catching them fucking up as much? You know what
Or
I'm
do we
saying?
just no longer care about the
Right,
fuck ups?
right,
Because
yeah.
I feel like we definitely fall into the not care anymore. I think there are times that people, especially Jeff comes up to me so much in the
continuity
film,
king.
and he's asking me these continuity questions, and he asks me these things, and I'm like, you can ask it. I was like, Jeff, shut the fuck up. We're just shooting the scene, dude. Stop asking these questions.
The stuff involved. Let's see who we had.
Now that was the first movie that we had Ben, Chrissy,
Ben, Chrissy,
the incomparable Marcus.
Marcus.
This was that. Listen,
Marcus Allen.
Marcus's performance on Unknown Strangers may be the best acting performance that he's done in any of the movies.
That core center part with the scenes in
When he's
between,
losing his mind in the.
that's a
I-
good scene.
It was pretty awesome. I did.
Like, I love him as Mayor Rafferty. He does some great
yeah,
stuff. And in the 1800s Mayor, I think that might be my second favorite performance of him is Susie Joe Rafferty Mayor. But to me, like, I remember, because like the thing about Marcus is
Well, Unknown Strangers was. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
like he, besides from like a commercial with you.
Yeah.
He had not done any acting. He hadn't done plays. Most all the other actors came from Strauss Theater,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
everybody had a certain amount of many years of acting experience. and Marcus came in as a dark horse. Jim that had done
Yeah, I had to
nothing,
kind of
and
convince Sharky to go with him because we had talked about him for
he
one role.
wanted that character to be a Latino gentleman,
Right, that's what it was. Yeah, we just couldn't find anyone.
and we couldn't find
in
one.
the timing that we had.
Yeah,
A lot of that cast was kind of assembled in a not a panic or anything, but they had some last minute changes like that because he had one fellow that was supposed to play that role.
yes. He was talking to the gentleman that passed away here recently that did the voice of
That's right, it was him.
from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name was exactly, but Sharky had been talking to him about playing that character, and it just didn't work out with his schedule because Sharky had the money to pay him, and he was going to spend the money to get him, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Hey, well, what about my buddy Marcus?"
Well, Marcus had, he came out and read some lines for the role that Ben ended up playing.
He had Jack Casey. He read.
And Marcus did well, but y'all liked him more as the
Mechanic.
guy,
Yeah.
the airplane mechanic guy, and which
He
it worked out
shined
well.
in that movie. Not
did.
only
It
not
did.
only
Yeah.
like the scene with him going crazy and the thing, but whenever they were all sitting down at night talking, and
the
he gets
nighttime stuff. Yeah.
and he got like real with like seeing dead kids and stuff. Like his acting in that was just. Still, even Ben was like his acting was so good it helped propel me to do a better performance. And this was his first movie.
He's just
you
got
know?
this. He's got a glow and a feel,
A charisma.
It's a field around him that if you're within the radius of or whatever, you just kind of like you go with it. And he tries so hard, but he's such a perfectionist in his mind before he even does stuff. He's already done it, I guess, in a sense, in his brain 3 or 4 times, to where it's maybe not the same version, but it's that effort, you know.
And we
it's
really
that
hinder
energy.
that process because, like, especially like the Rake Investigation movie, whenever he showed up on set to film, that was the first time he saw the script. So he'd be like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna go out to my truck real quick and learn these lines while y'all set up the cameras." I'm like, "All right, man, you're gonna do great."
Well, it's the lines are phenomenal as well. But for instance, shooting the scene where he loses it in the middle of unknown strangers, his character is trapped in a building with zombies outside and has been for a long time. So it's a little montage of him passing some time for a while and stuff. And he goes a little crazy and talks to himself a little bit and has multiple hymns and that he reflects with and parties with and he pulled that off. But when the multiple thing wasn't necessarily in the script. We were shooting that, and we got in a thing to where we had a shot, and I saw him in a chair, and there was a line of chairs. It was a couple of chairs that came out of the plane that we have that were sitting next to each other, and they were in pairs. And so we kind of like shifted them away to where they were in a staggered line, so you could see each person in each one and crop them out and later. And so when we started to do that, he was exhausted. We had been shooting in that hot,
And it's hot. It was so hot in there.
airplane hangar.
We couldn't turn on the air conditioning. They had air conditioning. We
Yeah, I
just
think he
couldn't
poured
turn it
a
on.
water. He chugged the water and poured a little bit over his head and stuff and was sitting in a chair, and he thought we were done. And he was like, "Oh, good." And I was like, "Hey, man.
One more scene.
I need like 5 more minutes with you. I need you to 5-10 more minutes." And he was like, like this. And I actually used that reaction in the edit later because I needed that position. And that was his real,
Oh, I gotta keep filming.
and so not 30 seconds later, though, dude, he's
Energy's right
bam,
back up.
right back
He's
in it,
doing the
going,
ideas.
going, just working.
And he's giving you ideas the whole time. He's like, "Oh, I can do this. I can do
Improving.
this." Sometimes you got to try to turn the faucet off. Like, "All right, Marcus. All right, yeah, you already gave me 3 really good ideas. Stop giving me more."
Right. Yeah. He was. Yeah. It was
So,
fun. That was
as
a
far
blast.
as Unknown Strangers go, and being the first movie you guys did together,
the stuff outside,
Oh.
that was so fun. The stuff near.
is
the
there any kind of
stuff.
tips or anything you'd give upcoming filmmakers for their first time?
Man, just plan. Everything in filmmaking in my eyes, and I'm sure everybody kind of knows this in a sense, but it all boils down to time and money. And if you don't have money, you still have time. If you don't have money, you still have other things that you can use to, accomplish your goal.
And you don't have to have money to finish your film.
I would say if you're doing your indie, your short, your film, your own script, your own story. Me personally, I would say write small as far as characters. Write to shoot it.
Yep.
Write to be able to if you know that you can score 5 people to act, then just write 5 characters.
Yep.
If you know that you have 3
2
people
locations that you can for sure go to, write those locations
if
and
you
do
know
that.
those locations and you can nail those, write what you have or what you know, and that way you can pull it off. And we essentially did. Sharky was, I think, every except for. Well, no, we were able to pretty much nail down a good, solid location that I enjoyed shooting at.
Yeah.
All those for Unknown Strangers. The police station in
Yeah.
Leesville.
I mean, I think during pre-production and production itself, Sharky was an immaculate director. Like
there was other duties that befell upon him at times and stuff that sometimes the slack. But we had a good cast that knew the script and.
To me, shit didn't start going awry until post-production. Like, to me,
Right. Yeah.
that's whenever, to me,
That's
like,
when
everything started making
shifted.
a weird left turn that even I didn't even understand.
Yeah, it was puzzling, but I mean, it was out of my hemisphere as far as
Yeah,
that goes.
once you were done shooting, it's like Johnny.
I thought it was. Anyway.
It's like Johnny Depp was like, I already shot the movie. It's not my business anymore, you know? But
I was all on board for finishing, helping get with it, and I mean, it is what it is. Nobody, it's there. It's on one of your YouTube channels.
yeah, that's the only place that it exists is on my YouTube
And
channel.
it's you can check it out. It's a good story. I think it's well acted in a lot of places. I think we pulled off a lot of stuff that I think
Mortal Kombat effects aside.
without a really raging budget, it would be hard to pull off a lot of the tension and stuff as far as that in times. And that's what we aim for with a lot of the scenes and heightening things up and the fear of the people. But it was more about their relationships and their exposure finally to you and figuring out which I thought was a cleverly written script, still do.
Yeah.
I love the approach of it.
Well,
But
that kind of gave me an idea. I'm actually going to take a link from your YouTube and put it on our YouTube channel. But I'm going to do it as a private link. So if you want to watch the movie, you have to hit us up.
Yeah.
And we'll send you a link to it.
So I do have to explain the breakdown. There is a reason why Unknown Strangers is not a full open heart productions, and there's a reason why I haven't full court pressed it. After we got done shooting, Sharky, the agreement that Sharky came to me during the shooting and said that his exact words were, I want to do a lion's share of the editing for this movie. I'm like, okay. And I was going to be doing all of the sound editing and Foley and all that stuff. And once we started looking at footage, we had made the decision that, okay, Sharky, you work on editing everything that's inside, and because of the sound issues, I'll edit everything that was outside. So y'all know me. Once I got footage, I get to work, and within 4 or 5 days, I had all the outside scenes shot. So I hit Sharky up and like, hey, how's your scenes coming? He's like, oh man, I started writing the script. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, dude, I had an idea for this TV show. I'm already 3 episodes in. I'm working on the 4th screenplay right now. I'm like, oh, okay, because I get it. Sometimes you can't control when the creative juices flow. So I was intrigued. Like, all right, well, what's the show about then? Since I'm still over here editing the movie, like, what are you working on? And the show that he pitched to me was exactly Nathan Fillion's The Rookie. And I told him that. I said, Sharky, I think you need to stop what you're doing and go watch The Rookie, because everything you just said to me has all happened on that show. And he's like, no, man, I still got like 9 more stories in my head. I want to finish these at least. You go ahead and keep just editing the movie. And once I get done writing the screenplays, if there's anything else, I'll work on that. And by the time he finished the screenplays, I was already done with the movie. And then he went and watched The Rookie, and hit me up and said, "Yeah, you're right. I can't use any of those scripts." I'm like, "Okay, well, let's focus now on the premiere of Unknown
Gotta
Strangers."
let it out sometime.
So we premiered it at Strauss Theater.
Yeah.
Had a decent turnout.
Good little turnout.
We
Radio a little bit helped.
we made some DVD copies of the movie, and this is where the first breakdown really started happening. I would sell DVDs, like especially when my band played or if I was out and about, and I would take the money and I would give it to Sharky. Now, I know that you understand this, especially whenever you're a young indie guy and you're out there grinding. Sometimes you bump into people that you think talking to them might help you further your career, your stance, your moment. And anybody that's been in a band or anything like that, you have to have something physical on you at all times. So there have been a couple of times I've spoken to some people that I felt like they could have helped us out. So I just passed out a copy of the DVD. Like, here, just take it out. See, this is what we're working on, you know. And there were some people that ordered stuff online that they'd send the money, but because they live so far out in bumfuck in the woods, it cost $25 to ship it, and they paid $20 for it. So I would pay $5, but that $20 that they paid would be gone. And Sharky would be like, "Well, where's the money on that?" I'm like, "Well, I spent it on shipping." He's like, "Shipping on what?"
Took $5 in.
Yeah, and there were times that somebody, like, I also remember two people ordered a DVD online, and they ordered it and they gave me the money in person for the physical copies, and I put the $40 in a book and I put it in my drawer because I didn't want to put it in my wallet, and I just waited and figured that I would just give him the money later. And then he like comes at me and hits me up saying I'm missing like 6 or 7 DVDs and no money. And I'm like, "Well, I got some money I got to give you, but yes, I've passed a couple out to some people." It's like, "That ain't cool." And I'm like, I'm trying to help further the goal, the dream, the thing. Sometimes you got to give a couple of things. I can't tell you how many Bogman DVDs that I've given out for free that worked, that the right person got it. And he made such a big deal about that to where he said, "Mitch, I trust you with everything except money." And I'm like, "Bro, 12 years we've been in Foxholes together. And if you have to say I trust you with everything except or asterisks or everything, that means you don't trust me." And then he started malingering on any Bogman stuff and saying that I've done my last free shoot. I've done my last this, that, and the other. I'm not doing this and that. In fact, I got another shoot that's coming around the same time that y'all are doing Bogman. If that one works out, I'm going to go do that because I can make that money. And once he said that, I'm like, all right, it's obvious that me and you aren't going to be able to work out anymore. And that was pretty much kind of the way I left it. I gave him the money. I gave him the receipts for the DVDs that I'd shipped and everything. And I just was kind of like, I kind of think this is fucked up that this is the way that it is, but all right. And me and him have not really spoken ever since then. And the reason that Unknown Strangers is the movie that it is on the post side is because the way I looked at it and the way I conveyed it to him was, okay, Unknown Strangers is your movie. You wrote it, you directed it, you paid for it. This is your film. I am not going to try to make any money off of it. I am not going to try to exploit it in any kind of way. You take your movie and you go grind and make something happen for it. I'm going to do my movie Bogman, and I'm going to grind and go try to make something happen, and we'll see who does what with which. And when people,
he had access to the footage and stuff too. As far
yeah,
as
he has
all the
everything.
footage and stuff. So,
And when people ask me, "Well, why won't you release it?" It's because it's not my movie,
yeah,
and it's not my business.
right.
Like that's him. Go talk to him. If he wants it out there, he can go get his own deal and make it happen.
Yeah, and I mean it's unfortunate. There's a lot of things like about that I wasn't really completely aware of at the time and stuff. But a lot of it, I don't. The time when we started before we shot Bogman, I guess Jacques and his kids were going to be involved in those roles. So
the split happened,
there's a lot of things that shifted, and they were, I think, by the time we had started shooting, I think they had already moved. Didn't he move to, or at least Jacques anyway? Did he move to Oklahoma or something like that?
I don't know. So.
Well,
think they're still here.
Well, there was another job that I don't know they were on or something, and I don't blame anybody.
It was
for,
a film job.
Yeah, I don't blame anybody for going to work to make money. So I mean, I don't have a problem with that. So it's open arms, open eyes again. As far as that, but I mean, it was unfortunate because of he's a great writer, great guy. I don't know. Everything moves in circles.
In all honesty, if I'm being 100% honest, I do miss the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because
I talked to him not too long ago after I lost my job.
Yeah.
I talked to him briefly, and we called and talked. So we keep in touch over time. But it was a great experience that I'll always be grateful for as far as getting to do that. And where are we at now? Like he was saying, but like the one question you were saying though, like shoot write for what you could shoot, write for what your strengths. If you got one good solid actor, then just write him in different characters. Work it out, take and plan.
And I tried really hard to get Sharky to come and do this. Like I reached out to him and asked him to do this, and he was just not interested. And like I said, it's a bummer because that dude really was my best friend for like 12 years. Like he was the dude that I kind of like how me and you are, Drew. Like we speak to each other every day. We hang out with each other every other day, every couple of days, or at least on weekends, And I think that's the thing that really to me hurts the most is at the end of the day, I'm always about the connection with the people that are in my orbit, and we had such a really good connection. I miss that connection a lot of the times, and who knows, maybe one day in the future, he'll be willing to, come to the table and we can talk and do something. I don't know, but
hey, we still got a whole lot more fun to have.
yeah, we got a whole lot of life left.
I'm just
There's
saying.
all kind of stuff, ideas, or that's the thing now. Like you were saying earlier, it's like I don't know. I don't find now. I'm not great ideas are great ideas, but ideas themselves aren't too hard to come together. Especially if you brainstorm with people and stuff. But some of them work out. In my eyes, like people always ask me like about trilogies or franchises and stuff like that. What's my favorite? And usually I'll answer with the order in which they came. I like 1, and then I like 2, and then I like 3. And I usually, and even in my head, I can't like them any other way because if without 1, you wouldn't have the precursor.
Yeah.
So it's like, and especially in a lot of ways. So with our films, one of the things the review guy said the other day was that each film is really different, and I was like, that's something that's really cool to me, is that they feel different to someone, and they can notice that, and even though we have a similarity with them all,
It's a tying thing.
So yeah, but Unknown kind of started a lot of that, and the cast was amazing. Getting to work with all those individuals, let's see, Chrissy was phenomenal. Ben, of course, really pulled off the character.
That Mitch guy was just phenomenal.
Yeah, actually, that was great. There's several scenes where you went full out Joker, and the camera was like, "Man, put me down. Just put me down, man."
Actually, here's another little funny story. The actress that played Debbie, Megan, the blonde-haired girl, me and her were pretty like good friends, or affectionate acquaintances or whatever. And after the scene where I choked her to death and talked about eating her baby, she never looked at me the same ever again after that. Like
a trauma debt owed in some way from that. That was an intense scene there. The shooting of it, definitely. Who else? Marcus, of course.
Eddie, we burned his eyes out.
Well, yes, and that, God love him. He's an amazing actor and singer and entertainer and good person.
He did freak out about the prosthetics.
Makeup stuff, and that's something that you encounter in your first feature or your first short, regardless if you have makeup effect shots or you have that stuff, and you have to like do trials of that before you shoot it. Don't you work it out, because we didn't, and
We did not do any makeup
had
test.
the idea, and we kind of loosely tested it, putting on people's face and stuff like that, but they were okay. The actor at the time, he had I guess a claustrophobic kind of reaction.
Yeah, the second that he could no longer see, he kind of just lost his mind.
He had to put a plastic prosthetic kind of cover over his eyes, and he was just going to be on the floor, I think. But he reacted, so we had to get that off and plan some other way. We had to, I always Bugs Life is a really cool movie. It's my favorite animated movie of all time, and
Awesome.
I didn't know that.
Me either.
only because it's just the one of them. I don't think there are any more Bugs Life. It's just Bugs Life. There's no more sequels. It's just, I love that about Bugs Life. So as far as I know, anyway, maybe there's I don't know, but there's a part in Bugs Life where the bugs are walking and everybody's like, there's a leaf in the way, and everybody's freaking out, and one bug's like, hey everybody, we're gonna go around the leaf, and everybody's like, well, around the leaf, that key scene, and another one later where he says, this is our life. It's not a lot, but it's our life. It's our lot in life. So putting those two things together on a film set, you use that quite a bit.
I do think that that's probably one of the perfect analogies of Open Heart Productions. Is we're in a line, we're doing it, something just falls in the middle of it. It's okay, everybody. We're going to walk around it, but we're not supposed to do it that way. Like, who gives a fuck?
Hey, but you hear it right here, man. When they did Unknown Strangers is before, way before I came along. But if you want to check it out, like I said, I'm going to put a link on our YouTube channel. It'll be under playlists, under Open Heart Movies Out Now. But it'll be a private link. So if you want to watch it, just hit us up on Messenger, on Facebook.
You know what? We can make it public because it's public on my channel too.
Okay.
I mean, none of this is monetized. We're not making any money off
right.
of this.
Okay,
so
you're right,
yeah,
you're
we'll just give it to you. Fuck
Okay,
it.
y'all just go to our YouTube channel, look under Open Heart Movies Out Now, and it'll be down there. Also, you can check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. And you can also watch The Bogman, Sea of Madness, and The Rake.
The Rake.
They're all out right now. Most of them are on all your free platforms like the Tubi, the Gago, Fandango, the CW app, Amazon Prime, all that stuff. But hey, check us out. And the next episode, we got Benjamin Gross with us.
And we might try to get Marcus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So hey, see you next time.